The Human-Demon Great War, the situation of Tagawa Kunihiko, and the author tells us that's one of the reincarnators. I don't really remember, but I'll just take her word for it. Wait, I don't know if I ever. The author's a girl, right? I never looked into that. Probably. I thought that I was in luck to be reborn in another world, like from the vampire. Like that from a light novel. And not only that, but beside me is the girl who was always my childhood friend in the previous world. I even have a cheat-like ability. Hey, isn't this an easy win in life? Is what I had thought. It's not like I hated the previous world. However, I definitely had the feeling that something was lacking. I wanted more excitement. I wanted to go on an adventure, like in a movie or a light novel. When that wish came true in practice, what I felt was more like a sense of expectation rather than a sense of loss. I'm aware that I'm not normal anyway, and compared to the Asuka, who was in the same situation as me, I couldn't be normal like her and weep for some time. I was fortunate to be unable to think of the environment I was born into as being suspect. Asuka and I were born in the same way, in the same mercenary group. Yeah, I remember this guy now. At the same time, mysteriously enough, the instant I saw Asuka, even though her appearance was completely different, I could tell that she was Asuka. It seems that was the same for Asuka too, so I thought that it must be fate. Asuka and I in the previous world were just childhood friends. It's not like we were dating or anything. It's just that we hung out together whether we liked it or not. However, somehow or other... I vaguely figured that in the future we'd probably get together. While it seems that Asuka also felt that way, it felt like it would take a bit more time until we would become intimate. Then, because we went through the unbelievable experience of actually being reincarnated in another world, the sense of distance between us instantly changed. I think that after we were reincarnated in another world, our relationship changed to one where we both depended upon each other. Asuka was afraid that she would probably lose sight of herself if I wasn't there, and if I hadn't had Asuka, then after being thrown into a strange and different world all alone, I doubt I would have been able to say optimistic things like adventure time and stuff. As for the mercenary group we were born into, they set up a village close to the border with the demons and made a living repulsing demons who invaded, or conversely, to invade the demon territory to attack demons. To put it in a positive way, they were a defense force that protected the humans from demon invasions. To put it in a negative way, they were a bandit group that repeatedly pillaged the demons. So that's the type of bunch they were. Asuka was disgusted by such a village and was fully determined to leave the village once she grew up. I was also in favor of leaving the village, as I had the desire to become an adventurer and travel the world. In order to build up my strength a little, I was taught how to fight the other mercenaries, starting with my father. However, it turned out that Asuka and I would leave the village far earlier than we had assumed, because the village was no longer there. I will surely never forget what happened then. The troop of demons who attacked us, the familiar mercenaries who opposed them, both my father and Asuka's father were amongst them. Those lives were taken all too easily, all too quickly, as if they were mere bugs being crushed. Merzofus, are there no survivors remaining? Yeah, let's go back. Despite that, when I had challenged him and got beaten in return, he overlooked me, who had been reduced to a tattered heap on the ground. He even went so far as to conceal us from his fellow demons. Asuka and I survived due to his pity. At last. Countless demons, with both humans and demons fighting while jumbled together on this battlefield, I am participating as an adventurer. I wonder just how much time has passed since the battle began. While fighting constantly, even my sense of time is mixed up. After killing hundreds of demons and breaking through, I finally caught sight of that figure, the figure I couldn't forget even if I wanted to. I never expected you to be a big-shot demon commander. There was only one demon from back then that I had any awareness of. However, I could clearly remember his name and face. It then appeared in the intelligence that the scouts brought back while risking their lives, the name of that demon commander. I was delighted when the name matched the one in my memory. I shall claim my vengeance. And so I challenged Merzofus, that demon commander. After I lost the village I was born and raised into a demon raid, Asuka and I made a living as adventurers, traveling to many different places. At first, there were many things that went badly. Since Asuka and I are reincarnators, we might be more mature than the average kid, but that was only on the inside. With us looking like children, we were always treated as children. The adults took the profitable jobs, and due to the rules, we could only get minor work such as gathering medicinal herbs or capturing small animals. If Asuka hadn't been able to improve our valuation so reliably and steadily, I might have given up in a sulk. Asuka dragged me into a stability-oriented jobs that I had no enthusiasm for, without thought to gaining ranks. When I think of those days, I was no match for her. Eventually, we were able to conduct monster subjugations, and from there, things sped up. By defeating monsters, experience points can be gained. By gaining enough experience points, your level rises, and then you can fight with the strong monsters. Once that happens, you can take on a wider range of requests. Our fame quickly spread, and we were able to obtain the abilities of first-class adventurers at such a young age. To be frank, Asuka and I are already outstandingly strong among the humans. Even compared to our S-rank seniors, Asuka and I are surely stronger. That's why we participated in this war with the demons, in order to avenge our village, since even against demons I was certain that we couldn't lose. And yet, is this some kind of joke? I can't even manage my breathing. If I foolishly tried to take a rest, this guy wouldn't miss that opportunity. I guard against the approaching sword with my blade. As for the magic that flew at me at the same time, Asuka shut it down for me. That was dangerous. If not for Asuka's support just now, I would have taken that completely. I wanted to give Asuka my thanks, but I have no time to spare. All I can manage to do is prepare for the next strike. This demon called Marizophis is outrageously strong, in swords, in magic, in precision. Instead of having some simple strong point, everything is at a high level. By sticking to the basics, he's as good as flawless. Asuka and I together are purely defending. How pathetic. What the heck was I saying, that we couldn't lose even against demons? I want to go back to before the battle and punch the me who dared to think that we might be fortunate enough to get revenge in person. Against a monster like this, nobody else would even stand a chance. That's right, the only ones who can handle him are Asuka and I alone. Precisely because Asuka and I have been able to hold back this guy, the humans are winning this battle. However, if he wasn't held up, this guy alone could turn the tide of battle. Like how Asuka and I together were routing the demons and raided the demon headquarters, this guy alone could trample down the humans. Thinking that gives me another reason not to lose. I can't hear any sounds from the battlefield despite how noisy it should be. Due to concentrating to the limit, it seems that I've shut out all the sounds from the surroundings. Even with the surroundings seeming to be in slow motion, Marizophis' movements are still fast. Despite having my thoughts accelerated, I can still keep up with the Marizophis' movements. I can just barely follow him with my eyes. Saying it another way, because I can follow with my eyes, I can still fight. If I couldn't follow him with my eyes earlier, then it wouldn't be completely hopeless. It would be completely... However, there will be the same situation before long. The accumulated fatigue is dulling my movements. Glancing at Asuka, I can tell she's about as exhausted as me. The drop-off in my movements is slight. However, even that slight amount could be fatal against this guy. I'm bleakly fighting while wondering when my head will be sent flying off after all. I desperately strike with my blade. Asuka's magic is easily repelled, and a follow-up strike heads towards me. At the same time, the ground shakes, and my exhausted legs buckle, and I fall. Fortunately, the tip of his blade passes before my eyes as I fall onto my backside. If I had been standing, I would surely have been cut. However, that's as far as my luck goes. Right now, I'm defenselessly sitting on my backside after all. As I get up in a panic, there's no pursuit. When I look, Marizophis is standing still. Ignoring us, he's gazing over the battlefield. There, I notice for the first time that the demon forces are in tatters. I guess this is an opportunity. He idly mutters that. Retreat! Followed by a shout. We have no scope to chase after that adept retreat, since rather than us overlooking him, it was him who was overlooking us. Again, Asuka and I were overlooked. Oh, okay. What? She sends them to save... What? They weren't in a demon group. They were in a human group. I don't know. Whatever. Alright. So yeah, Marizophis saved them. Because at first I thought maybe like he had appraisal. But then it's like, no, it's really hard to get appraisal in this world. So I think he just knew about them from her. But yeah, okay. Eventually they end up with the elves. We know that much. So that was this guy. Yeah, he's the adventurer guy. He's a cool dude.